What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Gimme presented by Bet365. Why the Gimme? You guys know why. Because it's good. This week, we're breaking down all things Pebble Beach. The PGA Tour travels the Monterey Peninsula for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, one of the longest-running tournaments on the PGA Tour schedule. I broke out my old, dirty, sweaty Pebble Beach hat just for the occasion. I'm Jason Sobel. He's Collin Wilson. Just a second, we'll get to our favorite outrights, props, our one and done plays for the week, and so much more. But first, the Gimme is presented by Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook brand. Sign up with promo code ACTION, ACTION, to get Bet365's exclusive sign-up offer in New Jersey, Colorado, Ohio, and Virginia. Bet $1 on any game, get $200. Collin, let's look at the top of this odds board that Bet365 has up this week. I just want to start with the first three. Matt Fitzpatrick, the reigning U.S. Open champion, he is plus 1,000, 10-1. Right behind him, Jordan Spieth with a terrific record here at this event, plus 1,100. Same for Victor Hovland at plus 1,100. What do you think? The books have him right at the top this week?
They do. There's clear separation. I think there's some 20 to 30 to ones that probably are underpriced because these are the, three that are heavy at the top. Amazingly, I'm on this show and I'm not going to have a Victor Hovland pick. So let's get that out of the way right away. The golfer I love the most, no picks on him this week.
That might tell you something about Hovland, who has taken a few weeks off, but said he is working his game into shape. He's been working on that short game. He's going to need it. Smaller greens this week. We all know about his chipping over the last few years. Rounding out the top of the board, Maverick McNeely getting a lot of action. We'll tell you about that in just a couple of minutes. Plus 1,800. Defending champion Tom Hoge, plus 2,000. I had a chance to speak with him on the radio show yesterday. I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. And Seamus Power at plus 2,000 as well. He has drifted back a little bit. He started bigger and has gotten shorter as the week has progressed, as they do every week. Our just fine bosses, just terrific bosses at the Action Network. They've given us each $100 to spend however we'd like on this week's event. So, Collin, let's get right to it with our portfolios. Let's start with our outrights. Where are you going with yours?
Yeah, let's put 5% of our $100 on Tom Hoge. Get it started off. You already mentioned him. He's 20-1. Hey, he won here last year. Can't argue with that. It wasn't a fluke. 12th year before that. And in 3 tournaments so far, all 12 rounds have been under par. So he's just playing elite golf right now. His putter, you're going to hear me mention the putter a lot. I don't usually handicap based on the putter, but with smaller greens and it turns into a scoring fest, you're going to have a hot putter, especially when you're playing 3 different tracks. It doesn't carry over to the next day because you're going to be on 3 different putting, or at least courses from day to day. So, with Tom Hoge's putter, it is dependable. His strokes gained tee to green and his approach right now have been a big positive the past 6 tournaments. So Hoge 20-1 for me.
So I mentioned I spoke with him on the radio show yesterday. First of all, he's as salt of the earth as they come. Very flat line. He's not going to be too excited. He's not going to be too down, no matter what's going on with him. But I was very impressed with one thing. This is the first time he's defended a title on the PGA Tour. And I asked him, hey, a lot of pushing and pulling on you, a lot of doing stuff like this, interviews with the media and getting mobbed for autographs, and some of these celebrities wanted to take up your time on the range. And he goes, nah, not really. It's about the same. And so just kind of shrugged it off as no big deal. A lot of times it is a big deal for first-time winners coming back to the scene of the crime for the first time. It doesn't seem like Tom Hoge is very fazed by that. So that made me like him a little bit more. All right, I've got 3 outrights. I'll start with my first one. I mentioned his name off the top as well. Seamus Power, I got in at 22-1. If you got in early Monday morning, you might have got an even better number. Last year, he was the 36-hole leader after a couple of 64s, stumbled to a 74 on Saturday, wound up finishing in 9th place, but in better form this time around, had his second win on the PGA Tour back in the fall portion of the schedule. Top 25 in each of his last 5 starts around the world, Collin.
Yeah, I like all those. I'm going to finish mine up. Another 5% of my $100 is going to go on Joel Damon, the Bucket Hat Brigade, 45-1. that number does not match up with the DFS price of 9,000 to roster him. So when you see a difference like that, you want to take advantage of DFS if the price is too low, or if the betting odds, or if they're also too low in coordination with each other. There's a long history of success here for Joel Damon. When it comes to Pebble, he finished 6th last year, and it's another putter that I can trust no matter where he goes. His last 6 times at Pebble, he's averaged 28.5 putts per round. That's something that I can, hit 45 to 1, and hopefully we'll see him in the top 20 going into day 4.
New father Joel Damon, hoping for that little baby bump, kind of like Max Homa has seen recently as well. All right, I got 2 more for you. Another 22 to 1 starts with Andrew Putnam, the guy that does putt them very well, especially on the West Coast. He had a 4th place finish at the Sony Open couple of weeks ago. He was the 54-hole co-leader last year, stumbled a little bit on Sunday, wasn't completely healthy, finished in 6th place, but I do believe in Putnam, especially in West Coast events. And then there's Keith Mitchell at 33 to 1. Look, Collin, you know me, I'm as bullish on Keith Mitchell as anybody out there, probably more on him than anybody else around in relation to the public. He had a T12 here last year, and there's a little intangible. Look, I love stats. I love numbers. I love analytics. I'm looking at them all. I'm not throwing them out the window. But this is a week for the intangibles. Every player in the field is playing with a Pro-Am partner. Keith Mitchell's Pro-Am partner for a 2nd straight year is Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills quarterback. Now, does it necessarily matter that it's Josh Allen? Not really, but I see Mitchell as the type of player, sort of like we've seen in the past, from Brandt Snedeker, from Kevin Strillman, the type of guy who comes into the week saying, oh man, it's going to be 6-hour rounds. And I'm paired with this guy he's a 9 handicap. He's going to be dragging me around. I mean, this is not going to be any fun. This is a guy that comes into the week saying, dude, how cool is this? I got a partner. We're going to play golf together. We're going to go kill it. And especially having a partner that he really likes. They hit it off last year. I think that's good things for Mitchell. By the way, all my outrights, I'm putting 15% of my portfolio on all 3 of those guys. What do you think, Collin?
I love it. Especially, you have to look at the Pro-Am angle of this. Some guys are getting paired up with people they don't even know. And some people are getting paired up with people that they play with all the time. And it's such an intangible that you have to take into this. And because your partner may also be kind of helpful like a caddy, because, you're going to approach 54 holes and they're all going to be different before they all converge to Pebble on the last day.
Yeah, the guys I'm taking, I hope their partners all hit their putts to like just behind them. Just give them a read every single time. Isn't that what a good partner does right there? You're sort of out of the hole. It's like, hey, I'm just going to, you're 8 feet away. I'm going to knock one to 9 feet away right behind your ball. How's that for you? Okay, cool. So that's what I like when my partners do that for me. All right, just like the last 2 weeks, this tournament, of course, on multiple host courses, Pebble Beach golf links. Oh, surprise, surprise. If you haven't seen Pebble Beach before, I don't know, buy a TV or something, buy the internet. It's pretty good. You might want to watch Spyglass Hill, Monterey Peninsula, CC as well. All of them right around 7,000 yards, 3 of the shorter golf courses on the PGA Tour schedule that we see all year. Weather will play a factor, as it often does at Pebble. It might look gorgeous on your TV, but it's barely going to break 60 all week. Chilly, damp, and it's going to get windy on the weekend. So maybe some live plays once we get through Friday's 2nd round, looking ahead to some of the players who can handle the wind in the final couple of rounds. All right, more portfolio plays. Let's get to these market bets at Bet365. You can bet on higher or lower finishing place. Let's buy and sell a couple players. Let's buy first. Who are you buying?
Yeah, I loved these bets last week. Fading Justin Thomas made me some money. So I'm going to buy Ben Griffin here. 48 or better. I'm putting 30% of my entire roll on this. He cashed top 40 wagers in 7 of his last 8 tournaments. In 3 tournaments so far this year, he shot a 68 or lower in 8 of 12 rounds. And like I said, putting is really important here, since you're going 3 different tracks to start off the rounds. And you can look at Griffin's stroke gain putting +1 over his last 6 tournaments, +2 strokes gained long-term form. That's a putter that I can trust. I'll take Ben Griffin 48 or better for 30.
Doesn't everyone look good when you look at their finishing position number, as far as thinking they're going to play better than that? I almost want to play like 20 different guys, but I settled on my favorite one in this market, and that's Maverick McNeely. He's getting a lot of action throughout the entire marketplace this week. Bet365 has him at 23rd or better this week. He's got a couple of top 5s here over the last 3 years, -120, as all these bets are. I'll throw $15 on Maverick McNeely to finish better than 23rd, which I really, really like this week. All right. Who are you selling?
Yeah, it's not the last time Maverick McNeely is going to be mentioned on this
Yeah.
show. I am selling Ryan Palmer. It jumped off the page at me, 54th or worse, minus 120. You can put 30% of my bankroll on that. Listen, he's missed the cut 4 out of the last 5 times he's been here at Pebble Beach at the tournaments. His putts per round average in those 5 times, last 5 times he's played, is 31.3. That's not good. His last round at the Farmers, round 4, he shot an 82. He was dead last in strokes gained putting at the Farmers Open, and it wasn't even close. Like, Griot beat him by like a stroke and a half. It was so far gone. So I'm going to sell Ryan Palmer, 54th or worse, 30% of the bankroll.
Ryan Palmer playing in a group with Jordan Spieth and Jake Owen over the first 2 days. His partner, Brian Roberts, the CEO of NBC and Comcast. If Ryan Palmer is looking for a job at some point later in his career, which I think Ryan would be terrific at. I like Ryan a lot. He's a very good speaker. He might be doing a little more talking this week than talking with his golf club. So maybe there's something to it there. All right, I'm going to sell a guy that I know you like, Collin. I know you made some money on him last week. But Justin Rose has only played this tournament 3 times in his entire career. That's a long career. There's a reason why Justin Rose is going. He's gone in the past. I've actually hung out with him there. He's played with Justin Timberlake. Timberlake is like grabbing guitars from people in their backyards at Monterey's Peninsula and like playing songs by the tee box. It was awesome. I just walked around with him all day. I'm talking to him. It was such a fun day. That said, Justin Rose is going there for a reason. And the reason isn't specifically, I just want to go work on my game, and I think I have a chance to win. In his 3 previous starts, he's finished outside the top 30 on 2 of those occasions. I've got him 30th or worse, minus 120. Only a $5 bet, only 5% of my portfolio, but still, I am fading Justin Rose this week. All right. I mentioned it earlier. We're going to talk market info here and get ready to hear one name over and over again. The highest ticket percentage this week is on Maverick McNeely. Everybody in the public loving McNeely. 2nd, Jordan Spieth. 3rd, Seamus Power. The highest handle percentage this week, same 3 guys, same order, McNeely, Spieth, and Power. And the biggest liability to the books this week, wouldn't you know, number 1, Maverick McNeely. Number 2, Seamus Power. Number 3, a guy I'm going to talk about in just a couple of minutes, Beau Hossler. All right, time for some props and matchups to add to the portfolio. Collin, what are you starting with?
Let's go way down the board. Let's go Matthias Schmid, top 20,
Ooh.
plus 450. I understand if you can find top 40, top 30 odds, it works there too. I'm going to do 10% of my bankroll on this. And he has no experience here whatsoever. He's got a history full of miscuts of all the tournaments that he's been in. If you look at what he's done the last couple of years, but something clicked for him at the American Express where he finished 6th a couple of weeks ago. He had rounds of 64, 72, 65, and 64. He was not bothered at all that it was a Pro-Am or that it was a multi-track course at the Amex. So I'm going to parlay that here where you're playing 3 different courses the first 3 days. And again, I'm looking at putters. Schmid is 9th in strokes gained total out of this entire field in recent form. I trust his putter. I don't think he gets bothered by the Pro-Am aspect, and I don't think he gets bothered by there being 3 tracks based on the Amex 2 weeks ago. So give me a top 20 plus 450.
Moving on, I'm going to go with my prop play here, a guy that I am very bullish on, a young player, Nick Hardy, who's finished top 25 in 3 of his 8 starts this season. I'm going to play him for a top 20 here at plus 260. This is a kid who understands how to play in some chilly, wet, windy conditions. He's from Illinois. He went to the University of Illinois, played under Mike Small there. He knows all about playing those conditions. Last week finished 44th at Torrey Pines, but the ball striking outshined the result. The ball striking was very solid. I expect him to figure out the greens a little bit. I'll go 10% of the portfolio there.
I like that. So let's finish mine up with a Maverick McNeely plus 100 even money over Jordan Spieth. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about the Spieth aspect on this course. I'm going to put 10% of my bankroll on this. Maverick McNeely is placed 5th and 2nd, and then last year he finished 33rd. So you ask why the dip last year? He had a drop in par 5 scoring, and McNeely has one of the highest par 5 scoring marks from a long-term and short-term form perspective. I think that last year's score where he dropped off on par 5s on this tournament was just an anomaly. So speaking of par 5 scoring, Spieth was cut from the Sony, which that's not really a good reason to fade him here because he's missed cuts and then gone to Pebble and won it before. But Spieth didn't score any strokes on par fives whatsoever at the Sony, which was a bit shocking because I had to go all the way back to the 2020 US Open at Winged Foot, the last time Jordan Spieth did that badly on par fives. This is more evenly matched than it should be from a McNeely versus Spieth perspective. So the fact that I'm getting even money, I'll take Maverick McNeely plus 100, 10% of my bankroll.
I am not ready to put him in the same category as a Tony Finau or even a Gary Woodland yet, but Maverick McNeely is one of these guys who is a big hitter, hits it a long way, good driving distance, but plays some of his better golf on short golf courses. We've seen that in the past, especially on these courses. I really like that. I'm going to go with a guy who also, this guy eats on the short courses. Look, he's got a low floor, but he's also got a high ceiling. I don't mind playing him, especially in matchups. David Lipsky was a guy that maybe people don't know too much about, but he played at Northwestern. He's been literally all over the world, and he's won pretty much all over the world, except for on the PGA Tour. Look, I don't know that's going to happen this week. I might have a small little Lipsky investment for outrights, but I do like him in props. And I'm taking him in a matchup over a guy that I know you like, Collin. Ben Griffin is a rookie who's played very well. I'm getting Lipsky, though, at even money, 15% of the bankroll. Lipsky played here for the first time last year. He was tied for 24th place. I see him doing just a little bit better this week. All right. You know, we all love first round leader plays. That said, on my wish list of ways to enhance the experience for golf bettors, I want more opportunities. And one of those things, and I've written this in the past, sort of this 10 things I'd like to see in golf betting. One of them is, why not second round leader? And we can bet that not going into the second round, but before the tournament starts. Well, guess what? Somebody out there is reading my stuff because bet365 has second round leaders listed this week at Pebble Beach. I think this is a really fun bet. Sometimes first round leader is a little bit more of a crapshoot. Maybe one guy misses a putt, one guy makes a putt. I think to get the 36-hole leader, you're finding someone that he's got to at least play. Look, he's got to play 2 rounds really well. Yeah, I summarized that very nicely there. He's got to play 2 good rounds to be the 36-hole leader. Let's take a look at some guys we like to maybe hit this 36-hole leader bet.
Well, Jason, I saw who you had, and I thought that's the same execution path that I'm going to go down to get my guy. And that is, I want somebody that starts on Thursday on Monterey, not a tough course whatsoever, and plays their second round at Pebble. Not tough compared to Spyglass. I don't want any golfers that are playing Spyglass in the first 2 days. I played it myself. I lost 15, 20, 25, 35 balls. I will never play Spyglass again. And just from a strokes gain data perspective, it is the toughest course. So the execution path was a Thursday Monterey and a Friday Pebble, and that came down to SH Kim 40-1. You know, all the intangibles, all the analytics that I needed there, plus it's the tee time and the happy path that I needed. So SH Kim 40-1.
I've been on SH Kim a couple times already this year for first round leader plays. He almost cashed one of them. All right, I've got a guy who shot 65 in 2 of his first 3 rounds last year, wound up finishing in solo third for the entire week. Bo Hostler is a guy that really interests me in a few different marketplaces, and this is certainly one of them. I don't know that Bo's going to go out and beat some of these big boys this week, but at plus 7,000 to be second round leader, he loves playing in California. He's a California guy. He putts better on Poana than most other players. And by the way, he's a pretty good putter most of the time anyway. I'm going to throw 10% of the bankroll on Bo Hostler to get out to another fast start. All right, we're almost done here. As we do every week towards the end of the show, we got to make our one and done picks. These one and dones are becoming so popular. I'm in one column that I've been doing for 25 years. And now all of a sudden it's like, whoa, everyone's doing these things now. It's pretty cool. It's gotten much bigger. Even if you're not a huge golf fan, anyone can look at the list and go, all right, I can pick one guy. I might be a little intimidated to figure out bets and make DFS lineups and do some other things, but I can pick one player every week. Anyone can do that. All right, who are you picking?
Well, it's funny. We're showing our age here because I used to do fantasy baseball when it was on paper, right? So
Yeah,
for an
same.
OAD, for an OAD,
Tuesday,
I'm going to go
Sporting News on Tuesday to get all the stats, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Newspaper box scores were such a big thing. For my one and done, I'm going to go Andrew Putnam. One big reason here, besides everything else, the biggest thing is driving distance doesn't matter on this whatsoever, and that has been the big problem with Andrew Putnam, and it's not a problem this week. So give me him for a one and done.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the guy that I like best overall as far as outrights, and I'm playing him in a lot of DFS lineups. But look, this is going to feel like an Irish type of weather condition out there. Seamus Power has both the tangibles, the analytics in his favor, but he's also got these intangibles. He's 35 years old. I don't know how much longer this window is going to be open for Seamus Power to potentially play in a Ryder Cup. It's all lined up for him this year. We've lost a whole bunch of European players to live. They presumably won't be eligible come September for Italy. It's wide open for him, but it might not be open in a couple of years. And so he's a late bloomer, but a guy that's played really well over the last couple of years, does everything well on the golf course, doesn't really have a weakness. I'm going Seamus Power. All right, quick recap of the portfolios. Collin goes with Hoagie and Damon outright. He's buying Ben Griffin, selling Ryan Palmer. Props on Matthias Schmid. That's Schmid, not Schwab. Matchup with Matt McNeely over Spieth and S.H. Kim, second round leader. I've got outrights on Power, Putnam, Mitchell, buying McNeely, selling Rose, a prop on Hardy, a matchup with David Lipsky, and my second round leader is Bo Hostler. Before we go, real quick, one non-PGA Tour bet to make this week. Collin, I'm listening very closely because I know this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, we're going to take the under on the Super Bowl. Yeah, so I think everybody should know that. Is it in the Action app right now? No. And the reason is because what happens is the first quarter, there's never been more than 10 points scored, I think, once in the last 15 years. So what you want to do is you want to take the under, then you want to live bet the over after the first quarter. So that's a good bet for everybody to go by.
I'll be in Phoenix next week. I'm going to cover the golf tournament, but we'll see if we can't score a ticket to the big game while we're out there. By the way, WM Phoenix Open, crazy crowd, throw in Super Bowl week. Now why don't we throw in, 100,000 Philly fans into the mix too. Some people ain't making it out of there alive. This is going to be absolutely crazy. All right, my non-PGA Tour bet for the week. There's that old Saudi international thing going on this week. A lot of live players, a couple of PGA Tour players. Boy, I hope Cameron Young doesn't leave for live. I really don't think he is, but he did get a waiver to play there. He's been waiting on that first PGA Tour win. I'm just going to say that it comes at the Saudi International this week instead. Thanks to everybody out there for watching this episode of the Gimme presented by Bet365. For more coverage, click on actionnetwork.com or the Action Network app prior to this tournament or throughout the entire tournament where we keep giving you updates. For Collin Wilson, I'm Jason Sobel. Good luck with all your bets for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Here's hoping you guys hit the green. Oh.